Imagine standing in the middle of the Pacific Ocean. No GPS, no compass, no map, no phone signal. Nothing but water stretching endlessly in every direction. The horizon looks the same everywhere you turn. The sky is massive above you. The ocean is moving beneath you. And somewhere, far beyond what your eyes can see, there is a tiny island waiting to be found. Would you know how to get there? Would you know how to find your way home? For most of us today, the answer would be no. But for the ancient Polynesians, this was not impossible. This was life. Long before modern navigation existed, before satellites, before engines, before printed maps became common, the Polynesian people crossed some of the largest oceans on Earth. They traveled thousands of kilometers across the Pacific, moving between islands that were sometimes so small they were almost invisible in the vastness of the sea. From places like Samoa, Tonga, Tahiti, Hawaii, Aotearoa, and Rapa Nui, Polynesian voyagers built a world connected not by roads, but by water. To outsiders, it may seem impossible. How could anyone travel across open ocean without instruments? How could they leave one island, sail for days or even weeks, and arrive at another tiny piece of land in the middle of nowhere? But this was not random. It was not luck. It was knowledge. Deep knowledge, passed from generation to generation. The ancient Polynesians were not simply sailors. They were observers, scientists of nature, readers of the ocean, students of the sky. Their navigation system was based on paying attention to everything around them: the stars, the sun, the moon, the winds, the waves, the birds, the clouds, even the color of the water. To them, the world was full of signs, and every sign had meaning. Where we might see only waves, they saw direction. Where we might see only clouds, they saw the possibility of land. Where we might see only birds flying across the sky, they saw information. The ocean itself became their map, and the sky became their guide. At the center of this incredible skill were the master navigators. These were people trained for years to understand the language of nature. They had to memorize the paths of stars. They had to know where certain stars would rise and where they would set. They had to understand the behavior of the ocean and feel the direction of swells beneath the canoe. They had to remain calm in uncertainty, because in the middle of the Pacific, there was no room for panic. A navigator had to carry the map inside their mind. They had to remember where they came from, where they were going, how long they had been traveling, and what signs were changing around them. This was not just physical skill. It was mental discipline. It was patience. It was awareness. It was trust in knowledge that had been tested over countless voyages. At night, the stars became one of their most important guides. Polynesian navigators understood that stars rise and set in certain places along the horizon. By knowing these patterns, they could use the sky like a compass. A certain star rising in one direction could help guide the canoe toward its path. Another star setting behind them could confirm where they had come from. But the stars were not always visible. Clouds could cover the sky, storms could hide the horizon, and daylight would eventually come. So the navigator could not depend on only one thing. They had to read many signs at the same time. This is what made their system so powerful. It was not based on one tool. It was based on relationship. A relationship with the ocean, a relationship with the sky, a relationship with the living world around them. The ocean was not empty to them. It was alive with patterns. Master navigators could feel the movement of long ocean swells beneath their canoes. These swells could travel across great distances, sometimes holding a steady direction even when the local wind changed. By feeling how the canoe moved, by watching the shape and rhythm of the waves, they could understand direction. Even islands changed the ocean around them. Land can interrupt waves. It can reflect swells. It can create calmer areas in the water. To an untrained person, these changes might be invisible, but to a skilled navigator, they could be clues. A small change in wave pattern could mean that land was somewhere nearby. The ocean was speaking, and the navigator knew how to listen. As they came closer to land, the signs became more detailed. Birds were one of the most important clues. Some seabirds travel far from land, but return to land to rest or feed their young. So if a navigator saw certain birds flying in a steady direction, especially near morning or evening, that could reveal where land might be. Clouds could also give hints. Certain clouds can form above islands. Sometimes the reflection of shallow lagoons could create a different color underneath the clouds. The water itself could change color near reefs or land. Floating plants, pieces of wood, or changes in marine life could also be signs. Nothing was random. Everything was observed. Everything was remembered. Everything could matter. Today, we live in a world where technology tells us where to go. A satellite can show our position in seconds. A phone can guide us through streets, cities, and oceans. And that technology is powerful. But the ancient Polynesians remind us of something we should not forget. There was a time when humans knew how to see the world deeply, not just look at it, but read it, feel it, understand it. They crossed vast oceans without modern instruments because they were connected to nature in a way many of us have lost. Their greatest tool was not a machine. It was awareness, patience, memory, observation, and trust in the world around them. So maybe the lesson is not only about navigation. Maybe it is about life. Because sometimes the answers are not hidden. They are already around us, in the patterns, in the silence, in the things we stopped noticing. The ancient Polynesians found islands in the middle of the ocean by learning how to truly see. And maybe that is the reminder that the greatest technology is not always something we hold in our hands. Sometimes it is the wisdom we carry within us.